Welcome to the podcast that makes you faster. Today with another exciting episode with an exciting athlete. Anne-Sophie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks a lot for asking. Did you already got some training in this morning?
No, actually, today's my rest day. I'm gonna do a gym session and then a little run later on in the day. But yeah, nothing very exciting today planned.
Okay, so not exhausted for doing a little podcast session.
No, fully energized, fully energized.
Perfect. Yeah, you kicked off your year with a second place at the Peniscula Infinitry. What is an amazing start into season. Congratulations. Can you guide us a little bit through the race? How was it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's like a very early season race for me, so it was really just to see where I was at. I started training, like my training block last year started really early because my last race was in October. So I thought I was going to be ready for April. That's why I had a race this early. But yeah,
Mhm.
I felt really good. I had really good training, so it was really fun to see how fit I was. Yeah, I was really happy to start with a podium. It's my first pro podium, so that's always really exciting to start a new
Nice.
year. Yeah, to start a new year like that. And I think obviously it wasn't my best race from start to finish. I can't say that I was like so happy, but then again, we're in April, early days. I think I was just really happy to see where how everything was going and then adjust my training to see what I'm still lacking and yeah, so I think I just used it I think for fun and obviously I think for a little bit of confidence
Yeah.
going into the my future races. So now I am having Challenge Gran Canaria in like a week and a bit. So
Oh,
it's coming
nice.
like yeah, it's coming like so fast. So now I'm
Mhm.
really pumped to see how much progress I've made in between these races.
Yeah, it's always crazy. You're waiting to start the season for months, and then just
Yeah.
race after race after race after race, and then okay, I'm done. Season's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it's so true. Like I feel like like off season is like okay, and then like you're really anticipating it, and then once the season starts, it's until November, and then you're like, whoa, what just happened?
Roller coaster.
Yeah, they like you I feel like as pro athletes, there's so many race options, and it's so exciting to be at the start line of all these races. So even for me, like I have to be like, no, you cannot race every weekend. Like maybe pick because at some
Yeah.
point it's not going to work anymore. I think last year I I raced way too much in the early part of my season, and I really paid for it at the end, where I was like, oh, now I'm
Okay.
mentally exhausted. So not physically, mentally exhausted. So
Interesting. Because was that a bit because you turned pro, and then you thought like, okay, now I have to do everything, or
exactly, it was exactly that. I was just so excited that I was like, oh, I want to do this race and this one and this one and this one and everything just is so much fun because that's what I love. Like I love racing and I think it's like the most fun thing. So yeah, I got a little bit too excited racing like every 2 weeks and then yeah, at some point, I think physically it was fine. Like I was still responding to training, but mentally on the start line, I just didn't want to fight anymore. And I think the second you lose that, then you're done
yeah.
in especially in the pro field now is even like it's so competitive. So if you're not on your A game, then just don't. There's no point of being there, kind of. Um, so yeah. So this year I'm a bit more. This beginning of the season, I'm like I still have a race like every 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And then I'm taking a little break and then focusing on the Ironman distance. So that's really
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah. That was a question for later, but okay, let's touch on it. So you're focusing this year, or you're starting with some middle distance racing, and then you're switching to Ironman racing.
Yeah, it's something I really wanted to do, but I think I wasn't ready to do last year.
Hmm.
So everyone was like, "You should do it, you should do it," but I didn't feel ready. And I think the Ironman distance, you have to respect the distance. If you're not ready to do it and excited to train for it, you shouldn't try.
Hmm.
So actually, this I wasn't going to do an Ironman until November, and then Ironman Cozumel because I really want to qualify for Nice because it's like 2 hours away from where I live, and I think
Yeah, perfect.
the course really suits me and I would just love to participate in that race. And but then I was so excited to start the training. I was like, why am I waiting till November? I should just do one now. And where I live in Embrun, there's like a really
Mm.
famous Ironman called the Embrunman, and I
Ah, yeah, I know it. Yeah,
yeah, it's the one with like 3,800 meters of elevation on the bike. And I know the
yeah.
course by heart. I know the run course by heart. Like I know like I live here. So I'm so sick of people like here being like, when are you gonna do it? Like, have you done it? I'm like, no, you should do it. Like, and I'm like, I've never even ran a marathon. Like, but yeah, so that'll be in August. I'm really excited and looking forward to that, even though I'm a bit scared.
So nice. So first Embryoman and then Cozumel in
Yeah,
the end of the
exactly.
year.
Exactly.
Nice, nice. And do you plan some middle distance in between, like in between Embrun and in between and Cozumel, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do Challenge Vieux-Bucco, so that's in
Hmm.
France as well. Um, I was, I'm not gonna add another one because I don't know how the recovery after Embrun is gonna be, and I'd really like to perform in Cozumel to
Mm.
have my to qualify for Nice. So I'm
Yeah.
only gonna do Challenge Vieux-Bucco in between,
Okay.
and then yeah,
Sounds
we'll
good.
see. Yeah, if I qualify for Marbella in Nice or Aix, then I'll obviously go. But yeah, my goal
Yeah.
is Cozumel.
Amazing, amazing. It sounds like a really great year ahead. Starting as an age grouper in triathlon, performing pretty well, performing so great that you're switching to pro, and now you're try to qualify for Nice, and you're doing all these big races and everything. Yep. How does it feel? Is it more like pressure on you, or are you just excited at this
Y-
moment?
Yeah, I think that's what you said. It's like a dream come true, and I think sometimes I have to remind myself
Mm.
that I shouldn't have too much pressure because I am living my dream. As you said, I started triathlon. I was like 19 or 20 years old. I'm 24. So I actually didn't even know about the sport until like 4 or 5 years ago. So I have to remind myself that like the fact that I'm here and able
Yeah.
to be on like to be a professional athlete and live my dream is already like such an achievement. And I think sometimes I put too much pressure on myself of like I have to perform, and if I'm not 100% there, then I don't want to be here. But that's not like I always have to remind myself to enjoy the journey and the process because a lot of the girls I'm up against have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I obviously have a lot of catching up to do instead like not only physically but mentally and all these things. So, but yeah, as you said, I'm living my dream. I actually grew up in China, so in China, I didn't do any cycling or whatever. I was
Yeah.
actually a gymnast for most of my life, and I just really enjoyed running. And then from there, I started triathlon because like there was a triathlon group, and they seemed really
Mm.
nice, so I joined that, and now I'm here. So yeah, now I'm just really grateful to be living like the life of a pro athlete. It's everything I've always dreamed of. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm trying to have fun. Obviously, I put pressure on myself because I like to perform and
Yeah.
I want to win. I think if you don't want to win, then you already lost. But yeah, so yeah, it's a bit. I think it's a bit of both. And yeah, as you said, I have to remind myself enjoy it.
Yeah, of course, of course. But that's cool. That's so you grew up being a gymnast, but I
Yeah.
think that's also a great base for triathlon because it's super tough too.
Mm, yeah, especially being a gymnast in China. Like if you weren't crying, you weren't doing it right.
Oh.
So
Jeez,
actually,
was it this tough? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was tough. Yeah, definitely. The coaches were really strict and everything.
Mm.
But yeah, we actually, as a non Chinese athlete, I wasn't even allowed to train with the Chinese gymnasts because like
Mm.
yeah, you weren't allowed to see what they were doing. So we had like
Okay.
I was a bit like I had a American Chinese coach, so he was a bit less intense, but still like the assistant coaches were still
Yeah.
like quite intense. But yeah, it was a good
Still,
experience and taught me discipline for sure.
still double as hard as a normal coach, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're used to train hard and to achieve your goals or to achieve the next step,
Yeah,
and yeah, it sounds great. So you're quite new to triathlon, and everything went fast from
exactly.
age group to pro. Yeah.
I think I'm someone, I think I give myself like I give 150%. So the
Mm.
second I thought I was, it helped because I the first ever triathlon I did, I won, and the feeling of winning was
Yeah.
like so intense that I was like, I want to relive this like 100 times. Like I need
Yeah.
to find a way to make this my job, because I love that feeling so much. So yeah, I gave it my all, and I made my surroundings as perfect as possible to perform, and I try to find people who believed in me, which was really difficult because when you show up and you're like, I'm 20 years old and I want to do this, they're like, no, especially
Yeah.
with with swimming. I didn't learn to swim. Like I knew how to swim, but I didn't, ever take
Mm.
classes or whatever. So that was like the biggest learning curve, and I'm still obviously working on that. So to find people who actually believed in me as much as I believed in myself, that was the hardest thing. But
Yeah.
now after a few years, I found the right people. I have a swim coach now, and yeah, so yeah, yeah, and when I had a bit of success in age group, I was like, well, now that I'm winning everything in age group, it's not fun anymore. I need to do
Yeah.
something more. And yeah.
So that's also the competitive
Oh yeah,
lifestyle that you learned in China.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, after I won the world championships in age group, I was like, oh, okay, now I think I'm ready to move
Yeah.
on and do
Yeah.
something more.
Of course. Of course. Great. So yeah, it feels like you're 100% behind it, and or 150% behind it, and you're yeah, you're on fire for the season. Um, as we say in the beginning of this podcast, we make you faster.
Hmm.
Um, can you tell me what your favorite aero gadget is?
Ooh, ooh. Um, I don't know. I think everything combined.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
everything combined. I can't say I love the disc wheel, the Swiss side disc wheel. I
Hmm.
feel like when there's like a bit of side wind, you
Yeah.
just feel like a boat. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's sailing. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, but I think everything combined, I think my boyfriend, my partner, he loves everything aerodynamic. And now I have like this crazy thing that I haven't really seen much of, but he installed on my bike. It's in between my aero bars. I have like my bottle, and
Yeah.
then I have like a little cap for my bottle, like this little round thing. And I
Hmm.
think that's like hilarious. When he put that on my bike, I was like, what is that? Like, so now when I have like the bottle in between and my
Yeah.
arms, and now I have like this little cap to make it more arrow around the bottle. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. It's really funky. And I haven't really seen it, so I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a good thing that I haven't seen it yet or but
Let's
yeah.
see. There were so many new things in this game in the past
Yeah.
years. Also with the bottle in the front and
Yeah.
in between the arrow bars. So it sounds like it's fast, but yeah, we maybe need to prove it in the wind tunnel
Yeah,
at
I was
some
gonna
point.
say I would love to come to the wind tunnel to see what he put in, be like what's the use of this?
Yeah, we
Because
definitely need to do
it
this.
it looks crazy. Like honestly, I think Alistair Brownlee had it. So
Yeah.
when I asked him to show me who uses this, he's like, "Look." But yeah,
It's
yeah,
Alistair.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
Alistair.
You are 150% on fire all of the time. Where do you find balance?
I have a lot of balance. So we created I actually had like a big bike accident like a few years ago,
Mm.
and I fell like from the road onto the train tracks like 5 meters below.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my bike like catapulted me and I fell. So I found myself in the hospital for like a few weeks, and then for like
Shit.
yeah, for like a few months it was like I broke like three vertebrae in my back. So I had like yeah, it was a really complicated time. And I think it was at that moment where I was like, okay, sport is great, but if I
Mm.
lose this, I have nothing. And
Mm.
even though I went to university, like I got all my degrees and stuff, I still was like everything can go like this.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do with I'm like 22 years old. What am I going to do if I can't, go back to the level I was at?
Yeah.
And so then I started my like a company with my partner, and he really wanted to do coaching in triathlon.
Mm.
So he had all the like studies for that. So then I created the whole business, the marketing, social media, website, whatever, I've never done that before. I just had to occupy my time because I had nothing to do anymore.
Yeah.
So then I created that, and then so now I'm doing like all the social media for that, and like the development and like the community and the merch and all the kind of fun
Hmm.
things. So that's how I kind of balance my time when I'm not doing triathlon, and then obviously seeing my family and friends,
Yeah.
um, all of that. But yeah, so I have something else to focus on if my swim doesn't go right.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Cool. So you have another side project that fills the gaps if you have some.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's cool.
So now
That's
I'm like
really
a
cool.
little bit less involved in it. At the beginning, I was
Mm.
like, pouring a lot of my energy because I had nothing else to do. But now that that's kind of running on its own, I'm kind of there to, and he's taking care of it as well. So
Mm.
now I'm focusing a lot more on my like pro career.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. But
Because
still
it,
coaching some athletes and
so I don't coach, I just do everything else.
okay, okay. You're taking, like you said, you take care of social media and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's also one thing I wanted to ask because yeah, so many things changed in the world of triathlon in
Mm,
social media. So it's like a huge game for sponsors for everything. Um, is it tough for you? But if you when you say that you are managing social media for your company too, and for
hmm.
you, I guess for your own socials,
Yeah.
you're also doing everything. So is this more like stressy? Is it tough, or is it just one part of the job actually?
Um, I think I'm quite lucky to be born in kind of that generation who kind of uses it as like I've
Mm,
always used social media and I grew up with it. And
mm,
as I said, I lived abroad my whole life. I was like, I lived in Germany and I lived in, yeah, I basically lived, I've never lived in France until like a few years ago for where I'm from.
mm,
So I think I moved so much that social media was also a way to connect with my friends that lived abroad because otherwise I lost contact with all my friends.
yeah.
So I actually, before even doing pro sports, I was already very much active on Instagram and stuff because I wanted
Mm,
to, to see my friends. So for me, it was like a really natural thing to do. I think I know for some people it's like really annoying and like they
mm,
just don't like it. I think I'm quite lucky. I really enjoy social media anyways. And
cool.
this year, yeah, this year I started YouTube, and there I got professional videographers because I feel like that's just a whole other level of,
Mm,
like I just don't want to take the time to edit like a 30-minute video. That's not my job, and I don't know how to do it. So, um,
yeah.
so now I have like videographers who live where I live as well and who follow me on races, and I think it's a really a fun experience. For me, it's quite new because like for Peniscula, I had like they were there, and I think for me being filmed on like before a
Yeah.
race and stuff, it's very new. I think that's for me was a little bit difficult as well because you're like, okay, I'm really putting myself out there. Um,
Mm.
if I fail, people are gonna see. If I do well, people are gonna see. But I think
Pure
that's
reality. It's cool.
yeah. But I'm like, whatever. Show the good part, show the bad parts, and
Yeah.
pe- yeah. But I really enjoy it, so I don't see it as like a negative thing.
It's super interesting because as a young pro, when you're put out these videos unfiltered with all the good parts and all the bad parts, it's yeah, I think what the world of triathlon needs more because there are a lot of pros now doing YouTube and showing just the good parts. Not all of
Yeah.
them, but a lot of them. So
And you
maybe
know what?
also to scare competition.
I feel like, there's like not that many women who show
Yeah,
what they're doing.
true.
Like there's a lot of like guys, but there's not a lot of unless like Lucy Charles, but that's pretty much it. And so I wanted to kind of, show it because Lucy Charles is Lucy Charles.
Yeah,
I wanted to show like a different side of it where you maybe like you can maybe identify yourself more to me because
yeah.
I started triathlon really like late in my life and I still managed to do something with it. Um, and I'm not done. So I think it's kind of nice to show like the journey and to show what mistakes you can make and learn from it and also yeah just show my experience and how pro sport is because I'm like a fan of sports so I like to see what's going on behind the scenes so I'm happy to show like what's kind of going on, and how we deal with everything. So
That's also inspirational for
yeah.
the younger generation also. So because when you say that you were not a swimmer or something, and you're now a pro, and people
Yeah.
nowadays always think like, when you're not coming from a pro swimming background or pro running background, you cannot make it to the top.
Yeah.
um that's amazing. That's inspirational. So everyone listening, go and follow Anne-Sophie on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Yeah, right
um,
now. When you stopped listening to the podcast.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think with swimming, it's like a challenge. But I feel like if you want to do it, and if you like surround yourself with the right people, and you're there, I'm like swimming like 5, 6 times a week. Like I'm there like every day, swimming 4 or 5K, like session after session after session, and
Mhm.
failing like a lot of the sessions, and doing really well in other sessions. And um, I'm going to see a physiotherapist and all of these things. Like if you want to do it, you can. You just have to give yourself, you
Yeah.
know, the right environment. Otherwise, you're going to fail. Like if you're just like, oh, I suck, well, then yeah, you're going to suck. But I
Yeah.
sucked at swimming. Like I was so bad. Like people were like, you want to be a pro athlete? Like they were like laughing at me, like, you're not going to do it. And I'm like, what? You'll just wait and see.
Cool. And you proved them all wrong. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
I
like a coach who messaged me like, "Oh, you always believed in yourself." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I think that's the most important part. Like
yeah,
you have to believe in yourself.
that's a huge part, of course. Do you have a great surrounding, like your family is 100% behind you and your friends are supporting you, or how is what are the most important pillars in your life? Let's say it like this.
Yeah, I think like the person who's like the most important in my journey in succeeding is my partner, who believed in me like 300 like percent. Like he just,
Yeah.
gave everything to realize my dreams, and I think without him I wouldn't really be here. But obviously I have like a really, really great family. They live abroad. Like my sister lives in Madagascar, my brother lives in London. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, but my parents live like a few hours away, but they're working and they have their own lives, so I don't see them every day. But yeah, they
Mhm.
come to like most of my competitions. So yeah, I'm really lucky, and they're always there for me if I need them. And I think actually what I learned with sports, however, it's quite isolating.
Yeah.
Um, like that's something, I'm a very social person, and now a lot of my friends live abroad because I lived abroad a lot. So, and
Mm.
um, I can't just like go take a plane and go 2 weeks on holiday somewhere
Yeah.
to see them. So I think that's like something I used to do. I can't really do it anymore. So
Mm.
slowly you kind of start being a little bit more isolated, and I think that's been really challenging. But I
Mm.
think like that's also part of the job. Um,
Yeah, true, true. Sacrifice something, but
yeah,
hopefully not everything,
no,
because
no, no, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you have to sacrifice some things because I think everything has a consequence. Like if you're gonna go spend like a whole day with your friends, obviously you're not gonna train as well. You're
Mm.
gonna be
Mm.
tired for the next day. And yeah, so I think it's been also like a learning curve to see like what I can say yes to, what I have to say no to. And yes, that's been a bigger change I think for me in my life.
Yeah, but if you know that your family and your friends are behind you, and you can always call them and always,
Mm,
yeah, hit them up if you need some uplifting words or something when you're not having that good training day. So
yeah.
that's also so much of worth. So
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, for sure.
I had a swim coach back then. I just thought about it as we said, and he told me he would prefer in a swim race always the person that goes 5 to 6 times a week into the pool, and not the person that goes 3 times a week into the pool and knows the technique perfectly well. So I think, yeah, you see, I'm totally behind the swimming part, because that was also one thing that was brutal for me to learn. But yeah, that was quite funny to hear that you're
Yeah,
going 5 to 6 times to the pool, because this is like, yeah, you're
it's way too much.
it's way too much. But yeah, if you want it, you have to do it. You have to,
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually really like swimming. Like, I'm not like, it's not
That's
like
good.
my best sport, but I really enjoy it. And I'm seeing a lot of progress in the pool. Like, I think it's crazy. I used to swim like when I started like 2 minutes 10 per 100, like because I didn't swim, and now I'm swimming like 118, and then I think it's like, okay, well, in like a few years, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to translate it into open water, and
Mm.
I want that, you know, translation. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
And how is this for the bike part? Because this is also something you did not do back then, right?
No, I think the bike came to me the most naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's the sport I'm most competitive in, I think now.
Mm.
If I, on pro series races where I see where my times are compared to the top, I think yeah, I think that's where I feel the best on the bike. I think cycling came really naturally to me.
Mm.
I don't know why. I used to cycle to commute to school, but that was pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I learned to cycle actually I was like 2 years old. So
Mm.
I think, I don't know, maybe somewhere it was always in me, and actually like I would love to do like cycling races and stuff. I think that just sounds so fun.
And to the running part, how is this?
My
Do you
run,
do you
yeah,
run?
I love running. Like that's yeah, honestly, I think the three sports I love. There's always one
uh,
sport I like more than the other depending on the week, but
mm.
yeah, I think running, yeah, my running's coming along really well. Like I run around 80 kilometers a week or something like
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I really enjoy running, and I think I'm pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, and you also not ran in the past,
Oh, okay.
right? Right.
I think it's the sport I've done like the most consistently in my life.
Okay.
Like
Mm.
I've always gone for runs, but I've never had like structured training.
Okay. Yeah.
But
You just
when I
enjoyed
had to,
it.
yeah, I had like track and field at school. I used to love track and field. Like I used to
Mm.
love running just for that, but I never really had like a schedule or whatever. But yeah, I've done it actually consistently throughout my life at random events. Like
Yeah.
when there was like a 10K to do, I just did it. So I think, yeah, I still kind of, yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. So it's a lot of talent also here, and I think if you combine this with the excitement you have, that we are going to see a lot from you in the future. So
I
it's
I hope
sounds
so.
cool.
Yeah, I
Sounds so
hope
good.
so. I'm still like progressing a lot every
Mm.
winter, so I feel like I'm not done, and
Mm.
yeah, obviously I'm not done. I'm still at the very, very beginning. And I think that's the most exciting thing for me is like, oh, till when? Till where
Yeah.
can I go? And I think it's really fun.
Amazing. Um, so if we would talk in the end of the year, let's say in December 2025, 2 weeks before Christmas, and I would ask you, yeah, how was your season? What would be your best answer or your most
Ooh.
favorite answer?
Well, I would really like to qualify for Ironman,
Mm.
like World Champs in Nice. I think that would
Mm.
be a really successful season.
Mm.
I'd like to podium
Mm.
slash win Omraman.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm really honest, I'd love to win this race.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd love to move up to the top 70 in the world. I feel like
Mm.
after 1 year, 2 years, it'd be quite good.
Mm.
And now the level's like more and more competitive every year. So really like to move into the top 70. And I'd like to do, yeah, a couple more podiums on 70.3 distance.
Mm.
Um, so I hope challenge Buko last year I was fourth. I hope to move third.
Yeah.
And then there's 70.3 Nice. I think it suits me really, really well. The bike course is really like challenging, so I think it suits me really well.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Okay. Cool.
Gran Canaria, let's see. I'm hoping for a podium, but
Yeah.
it could go anyway.
Yeah. Like we said at the beginning of the podcast, you are just getting started, so
Yeah.
um, you can
I'm
only win. So.
exactly. I'm giving my best at every race, and I think every race, if I have my best race, I have the potential to podium,
Mm.
and it just depends on everyone else as well, who's
Yeah.
there as well. So, yeah, I'm just gonna give my 100% and see what happens.
Cool. What would be your tip for the young generation, especially female triathlon generation, if they have the dream to make it to the top or make it to a pro field? What would
Bel
be your go-to?
Believe in yourself, honestly.
Mm.
That's the like throughout, even now, like people just doubt. what you can do, and gonna say like you're not good enough, you're not gonna. But if you really want it, you can do it, and you have to just believe in yourself and believe in your abilities and believe in all the work you're putting in. I think like that's really the most important thing, because everyone, like people around you, I don't know, a lot of people kind of want you to fail, and
Mm.
they don't want to see you go up to the top. So yeah, I feel like you just have to believe in yourself and ignore people around you who say you can't do it, and just surround yourself with people who are going to help you get there. I think that's, for me, what helps me the most. Like I've moved a lot around in France to find the right people, and it's been like a learning process, and actually quite a shock sometimes to like see the reaction of people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to keep in your, if you really want it, you can do it.
Don't listen to the naysayers.
Exactly, exactly.
So thank you so much for taking some time to have a chat. And the whole Swiss team wish you the best of luck for this season, and great races. And yeah, we're cheering from the sidelines. And yeah, hey, fingers
Well,
crossed for you.
thank you so much to the whole Swiss side team as well, because you guys have believed in me even before I was pro, and you guys have helped me for like years now. Even so, that's what I'm saying. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, and you guys have
Yeah.
believed in me since the very beginning. So thank you guys so much for your trust and your help and everything. And I'm so happy and grateful to be part of the Swiss side team, because you guys are such, you have amazing products, but you guys are also such an amazing team of human people who actually really believe and support their athletes. So I'm so grateful to be working with you guys, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much for these warm words. Yeah, that's always the thing about Swisside. It's super technical, it's super aerodynamics, but it's also human centric. So
Yeah.
thanks a lot. And now
Well, thank you.
you're heading to the gym right now,
I actually have
or
a home. We have a home gym, so yeah,
nice,
I'm
perfect.
changing
Okay.
rooms.
Okay, so you're going upstairs and
Exactly.
nice. All right, so have a great day, and yeah, talk soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.